Pioneering staff were told in the newsroom that TV3 News had no competitor in Ghana, but our competitors are BBC News for the content and CNN for the look and feel.
We went to Malaysia for some small training, then we came back and the whole show started.
It was a big story when TV3 became actually the first free-to-air private station.
TV3 really announced itself, came in with a bang, introducing some programs that we had not seen before.
It was a brand everybody loved.
Than what I'd been told.
We had all seen what TV3 was doing. It was a new kid on the block.
TV3 staff would not wait for solidarity from functions. With the first thing, immediately after the show or whatever program they are covering, they are heading for the office. Their number one priority is the news. They brought a story that was biting.
I'd seen young, ambitious reporters. I'd seen people on the beat. I'd seen the excellent content that the station was putting out. So I actually wanted to be part of the station because I thought they were on to something bigger, something different, something better. They were on to redefining what is news and what is content.
TV3 precipitated a lot of action in that TV3 was able to raise issues that government officials later on followed on to develop the communities.
They were on to solving society's problems, bringing issues to the fore.
It was a very refreshing difference. They opened our eyes to a different side of media we had never encountered or even consumed as a population.
TV3 offered a lot of professionalism, timeliness, great standards when it came to delivery of news and current affairs, entertainment in very special ways, inspiring all of us, setting new standards, revolutionizing the industry.
TV3 carried some prestige with it that you would want to be part of it.
TV3 opened up television to alternative views. It opened up television to alternate presentation.
We admired their presenters, particularly the way the newscasters were carrying themselves. I mean, it was a beauty to watch, and you would want to do it. I mean, if you know that, I mean, you can really toe that line.
Before TV3 News, we had seen news broadcasters for 40 years or so reading television news dressed in traditional wear. It was great to see another TV station in outlook, how they look like and how they present themselves. The way they presented their news, where they had newscasters wearing suits and jackets on reading news in Ghana.
A Deputy Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Alex Akufu, says poor water management culture in the country is the result of the absence of a comprehensive water management policy. Mr. Alex Akufu was speaking in Accra at a public forum to address the rapid environmental degradation along the Volta River Basin.
My first day on air
was sometime in September 1999, I think 1st September or so. And that was 6 months after I joined TV3 as a production assistant.
We now go for a commercial break, but please stay on.
I had butterflies in my stomach.
It was very difficult. It was very challenging.
Stomach churning, butterflies
Flies in my tummy. I was sweating.
You could place a bucket full of ice on my seat. It will melt and boil.
I am Gideon Ayekwe.
And you could imagine that the studio was very chilled. I was still sweating. Like after every single story, the makeup artist had to come and dab the sweat off my face.
I had informed my family to be on the lookout, and so they were looking out for when I would come on. I was told that my dad couldn't sit down when I was doing the news. He was pacing up in the hall, just shouting, "That's my boy." That's the only thing you could hear. He knew that I could do it, but then he wasn't expecting that I would reach it like that.
All through the bulletin, I had to bottle up all the tension within me. And then at the end of the bulletin, when I got out of Studio A, I just walked out into the corridor. Once I got into the corridor, I just let out one loud yell to release all the tension.
The work ethic is something I would want to talk about.
Here you are. This is what you have worked towards for so long a time.
and you've got it. Take it and enjoy it. At the same time, you really were being measured by standards so high, you just couldn't afford to fail.
I was joining this great team of good, I would say, Ghana's best journalists. They had such huge appetite to talk about Asiedu-Dartey.
If you have somebody like an Asiedu-Dartey editing or being the news manager at that time, there's no room for misbehavior, there's no room for apathy, there's no room for, you have to put up your best, otherwise the story is not going.
Uncle Ralph Sassy, as we called him, Emma Morrison, Gabi, Robert Tre, Nanama. I mean, it was a powerful team I was joining. And so going to TV3 and going through that rigorous interview process and coming out tops, it felt very good, and so I hit the ground running. I really didn't know what I had signed myself onto, but it felt good to be associated with Ghana's #1 brand.
TV3 would allow you to learn at that time. So for instance, I took it personal. I expected to improve myself at TV3 with that platform that I had. That was the motivation. That is how come I learned how to do the video editing myself. So anytime I went on assignment and I came back, my story was fully ready in my hands, and I gave it to the directors, and I made sure all my stories went on the same day.
We are also a pro-people station. That is, TV3 was the first station to start going to the communities and reporting exactly on what's happening in the communities, to the admiration of all.
I remember working my way through the rural communities to the cities, covering stories from Makwitia to Chiriponhi.
You find me on the refuse dump, or you find me in a KVIP.
To, Bongo, Upper East region to Western region, and in some mine pits.
You find me in the middle of a crossfire, covering elections,
following political rallies, following presidents and vice presidents outside of this country.
That was elections, 2004, and I remember my mom in particular wasn't too comfortable with the idea, because it was what we call the hot spots. I actually witnessed, I was in the police station when Issa Mobila was brought in.
When Mr. Rafsasi was made the head of news, I used to help him, especially with the duty roster for the news department, and then I used to play around with the roster and then give myself some more than enough of this without his knowledge.
We had lost a presidential motorcade rider. The funeral was on. I was asked to go and report it. It was Gabriel Bosumpim, I remember, who assigned me to that story. And I went there, instead of me being the professional journalist, recording what was happening and reporting on it, I joined them to mourn. You could see the woman, the wife of the late man who was pregnant. They were all crying. It was sad. And then I ended up crying the whole time through. I couldn't write a single story. I got back, and you should see the face of Gabi looking at me like that. He wanted to wring my neck. I spoiled the whole thing. But I think that we had some good shots from the camera people. And eventually I narrated the story the best way I could. And then we managed to write a story. It didn't turn out too bad, but I think I could have done a better job.
I'm even amazed about what we've done so far.
We look forward to many more years of a new maturity with working relationships within this building, and also between us here and you at home.
Well, you've seen everything for yourself. In the coming years, we're going to give you even better programs and stick to our slogan, First in News,
Best in Entertainment.
We thank all the staff that they'll be able to hold the fort and continue from where some of us have left off.